And so we take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's matchup. Obviously, Covington and Decker are the two to look at for Indiana Tech. Cruz, Smith, and Barton will round it out. No differences in the Huntington game. And for Purdue, Jones, Collier, Swanson, Bass, and McCarthy. As we get ready for tip-off, Genevieve Decker wins it for Indiana Tech. And basketball season opens once again here in West Lafayette, Indiana. Indiana Tech going to push to the inside. Short-range jumper for Covington. She knocks it down. Indiana Tech leading 2-0 in the early going.
You see the tempo here by Purdue early.
Bass backing down Decker. Left-handed finish off the glass. That was pretty.
Yeah, and Bass, a transfer from Akron. She averaged nearly a double-double last year. She knows how to score down low.
Decker on the elbow. Looking for an option. Gives it to Cruz. Guarded by Swanson. Trying to penetrate in the left block. Doesn't see it. Now Smith. Decker on the outside. Looking for an option. The three from Covington. Air. But it does go off the foot of Smith, rather. Or actually, it did go off the foot of a Purdue player, and it will be Tech basketball on the baseline. 4.8 seconds left on the shot clock as they get the ball in and blocked away by Bass.
Yeah, and good discipline there by Bass to stay home and be a force at the rim.
Decker inbounding again. Going to try and get into Cruz, and they don't. Swanson jumps all over it. It's a steal for the Boilermakers off the inbound. Now Jones pushing quickly. Looking for an option. Gives to Swanson for three. Got it. The first three of the season for Sophie Swanson.
And no strange sight if you're a Purdue fan last year. Swanson, one of the best three-pointers in all of the Big Ten, and she's only a sophomore, looking for a big year from her.
Swanson led all freshmen nationally last season with 4.8 three-pointers per 40 minutes. As Decker looks to penetrate, she can't quite get through Reagan Bass. And now Jones pushing it up the floor again. Swanson on the wing. Gives inside. McCarthy. Blocked by Decker. Good help defense there from Decker, and now Tech looking to push the basketball up. Up 5-2, a little bit of sloppy play in the paint from both teams thus far, but Covington floats and knocks it down. Jones gives up the floor to Bass. Bassis. Transfer from Akron as McCarthy trying to back down in the paint, gets the offensive rebound and a nice putback for the 6'4" freshman from Bedford, New Hampshire.
And a good second effort there by McCarthy to score her first of the year. I like how Purdue's getting her the ball down low, giving her a lot of opportunities, getting her settled into this game.
Tech rotating it around the perimeter now. Now Decker, Covington, three. Off the mark to the right iron. Jones pushes quickly to Collier. Collier into the paint and fouled by Decker. And she'll go to the line for two.
Bit of a lapse in communication there in transition for the Warriors. Collier was all alone on the wing. She just had an easy lane to the rim. 2 free throws upcoming for her.
Indiana Tech making plenty of subs. Decker, Cruz, and Covington will come out.
Indiana Tech starting this game 2 of 6 from the field. And you can see an obvious size difference, especially at the forward position.
Collier knocks down her first. Collier, a fifth-year senior from Danville, Indiana. She played 4 years at Marian University as she knocks down her second. Was originally recruited by Katie Geralds when she worked at Marian University as the head coach. She's a 2-time NAIA Player of the Year, and now bringing her talents to West Lafayette and the Division I level, which some might argue that she probably should have been here all along.
Absolutely, the accolades speak for themselves. Excited to see what she can do under Geralds.
That one was missed by Amaris Lowry as Jones driving to the paint. Good finish off the right-hand glass. Purdue leads 11-4 in the early going.
Purdue looking very comfortable both in the half court and in transition right now. Great sign if you're Coach Gerald's.
On the perimeter for three. Long, and Indiana Tech can't really buy one from deep right now. That was Ava Zilkowski who tried to knock it down. Swanson for three over Zilkowski. A little bit long, and rebounded by Lowry. Now Decker bringing it up the floor, guarded by Bass. Cycling it around, it ends up back with Decker. Now Covington, she's open for a three. She can't knock it down again.
Indiana Tech really trying to establish the long ball here, but it's just not falling in the early going.
Bass hits the three. The 6'2" senior knocking it down from the top of the key. And now Indiana Tech trying to respond quick. Can't quite get it to go. That was Zilkowski again. And now Gerald's gonna slow the game down. So hand it to Collier, and she'll run the offense from the top. A lot of subs in the waiting. That's pretty normal for an exhibition game. They try to feed it into McCarthy, but she can't quite fight it away from Jaden Gully, who played some good defense there. Covington. They switch off, but she has an open mid-range shot, and that one's long too.
Yeah, Covington's been searching for that elbow shot all day. Pretty inconsistent thus far.
Swanson, a wonderful finish off the glass with the right hand, just diving in from the left block. Now Gully on that right elbow. Covington feeds inside to Decker. Guarded by Collier. Decker, nice finish with the left hand off the glass. Indiana Tech might like to get back to basics here. They haven't hit a three all game. They're 0 for 6. And a foul is called on Genevieve Decker. And so that'll send Bass to the line. And Decker, that's her second personal foul.
And Bass, an experienced player, knowing to use her height. She's got 4 inches on Genevieve Decker. And she's making work of her in the post thus far.
And so a timeout called on the floor. And so we will see what comes out. There were a lot of subs in the waiting, but right now Indiana Tech cannot get it going from three.
No, and it's pretty obvious that Purdue's selling out on Genevieve Decker. We saw it on the first play of the game. She got it in the post. All eyes went to her. And a good job of Purdue to adjust a little bit and just to force the outside shot, because right now Indiana Tech can't buy a bucket. And they haven't made any counter.
Kind of a cold start for them thus far. As so the timeout has now broken, and it's going to be an all-new lineup for Purdue. As Amaya Reynolds, Destiny Lombard come in the game.
Max, you touched on this earlier. Should expect to see a lot of substitutions, a lot of different lineups. Got to imagine Coach Gerald's going to experiment with a lot of different kind of combinations of players here today.
Jayla Smith and Kendall Purrier had come into the game as well, as Bass knocks down her second. And Mari Petrie will sub in immediately as Bass heads off the floor. And Purdue has built up a double-digit lead already. Indiana Tech has made quite a few substitutions of their own. Gully still on the floor, but Nakia Bonner is getting her first minutes of the game. And now outside to Cruz. Now it's Bonner looking for a cut. Gives it inside. And a travel is called on Lauren Barton. Too many steps in the paint there. A full court press, but foul called on Bonner. She got her hand on it, but couldn't quite keep it clean.
The first opportunity to see Amaya Reynolds in a Purdue University jersey. Should be exciting to see.
Almost a tragedy there in the backcourt, but Petrie was well met to it. Lombard gives to Smith. Tried to cut inside, couldn't quite find it. Now Lombard is back inside. Purrier couldn't hit the fade. Offensive rebound from Lombard, and that's what she brings as a transfer from Stephen F. Austin. She's got a lot of grit. She's the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in Stephen F. Austin's conference. Obviously coming into the Big Ten now. Lombard looking for space, cuts inside. Nice right-handed finish, cutting right past the defense of Gully.
And that was all Destiny Lombard on that possession. Crashing the offensive glass, getting it back, and then recognizing how much time was left on the shot clock and attacking the rim.
Indiana Tech, again, still just looking for any way inside, but Purdue's got a lot of tall trees in the paint. Nice move from Bonner, good head fake, and a good finish. Sending a Defensive Player of the Year the wrong way and finishing it with the right hand of the paint. Indiana Tech, a lot of athletic guards, especially like Nakia Bonner. Just very, very agile, but jump shot missed. But a good offensive rebound from Puryear. She'll put it back up, can't quite get it. Petrie fighting with Gully for it, and it's a jump ball, and it will stay in the direction of Purdue as two more subs come in for Indiana Tech. It'll be Ava Zilkowski and Taylor Covington coming in for Corinne Smith and Lauren Barton. Right now, Purdue out-rebounding Indiana Tech 11-4 in the early going. Again, speaking just to the size difference as Smith puts up a floater. Can't quite get it, but a foul on Puryear. She tried to fight through Gully, but couldn't do it legally. So the Warriors will bring up the ball. It'll be Covington as she'll unload from three off the front iron, but it will go off of the hands of Amaya Reynolds, and it will go out of bounds, and Tech will have a throw-in on the offensive baseline.
Yeah, and Indiana Tech's now missed their first 7 3-pointers to open up the game. They didn't have a terrific shooting performance against Huntington, but they've gone ice cold tonight.
You get the inbound to Covington. Smith nearly cut out the pass, but recovered well by Cruz. She drops to Bonner. Guarded by Lombard. Good help defense from Reynolds, but she couldn't do it without fouling, and that will send Bonner to the line. Bonner has been giving Lombard a lot of problems on the drive.
Yeah, you know, she's just attacking the rim and in constant pursuit on offense. Obviously very athletic, but, you know, wonder if it's just a step up in competition here for Lombard.
Bonner only played 3 seconds in their game against Huntington University a couple nights ago. A sophomore from Logansport, Indiana, as she hits her second free throw. She's only 5'3", but a lot of speed and a lot of quickness goes along with that. And Reynolds on the wing. Gives to Smith, unloads from three. It rims out. And it will go out of bounds, and it will be Indiana Tech basketball. Purdue maybe not having the super dominant start they would have felt that they should have. It's been more an effect of poor shooting from Indiana Tech. Cruz working on Smith, trying to drive all the way in, can't finish it with the finger roll. And now Smith trying to drive it up the floor. Gives to Lombard. Inside, Puryear. It is going to be a travel. Couldn't set her feet.
Yeah, and you mentioned this earlier, but there has been a little bit of sloppiness inside as we see the replay there. Yeah, just falling forward. The feet slide a little bit, but Puryear missed a couple of layups down low, and now the turnover that she's expecting a little bit more of herself.
Covington with the ball. Now for three. No good. Zilkowski hasn't got one to fall yet as there's a fight for it as Lombard comes away with it. Can't get it to Puryear as it just goes through the hands. Lombard giving it to her team. That's her fault. A little bit of a misplaced pass, didn't quite play her through. As Gully and Cruz will now take a seat. Covington with the ball again. Driving on Lombard and blocked away by Reynolds, and it'll stay in bounds. Good defensive play there from Purdue as Smith driving it up the floor, taking it inside, and a good right-handed finish over to Warriors.
And Jayla Smith missed the three-pointer earlier in the game, this time deciding to attack the rim in transition, gets the floater to fall.
Smith, her first points in 3 shots as they resort to double teaming Covington. And now Bonner, Smith guarding. Gonna move to the left, tried to get a mid-range jumper, but he bailed out and gave a brilliant pass to Barton, who finished it with the left hand unguarded.
Yeah, and Purdue sold out on Bonner on that pick and roll, leaving the wide open layup exposed.
Just about 15 seconds left in this. Shot clock and game clock are very similar, as they will reset. Just 10 seconds now. Smith looking for an isolation. Driving into the paint right side, can't quite get it off the iron. And that will end the quarter. 22-11 for Purdue after 10 minutes of play. Kind of a rough start for Indiana Tech, but they might feel motivated. They might feel like they're actually in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you could not have started worse shooting the three ball. I mean, 0 for 8, can't really do any worse than that, but they definitely have proven to be a bit of a challenge for Purdue, especially on the offensive or on the defensive side of things, forcing Purdue into a lot of mistakes. And you know, if you're Indiana Tech, you got to be pleased with what you're seeing so far.
So 22-11 after 1 quarter of play. We'll throw it to commercial, and we'll be right back. 22-11 after 1 quarter of play between Purdue and Indiana Tech. One of the main stories right now, Indiana Tech just struggling with the 3 ball. 0 for 8 as a team. Taylor Covington, who is a fantastic player, was an all-conference first-team player for 2 years in a row. She's their main 3-point threat. She's 0 for 4 from the 3.
Yeah, definitely not the start that she was envisioning, but she has the experience to turn it around, just find her rhythm a little bit. I think she needs to go back to the mid-range game. That's where her 2 field goals have come from. But obviously Purdue not giving her anything easy.
She had 18 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds against Huntington. She was 3 for 9 from 3 in that game as well. As Purdue will look to keep her locked down as that one's dropped inside, and a good pass and a better finish from Corin Smith.
Purdue played 12 girls just in that first quarter alone.
Lombard hits the 3. Lombard was wide open on that wing. She's got 5. Swanson fighting for the ball, couldn't quite get it. Indiana Tech pushing it inside. Just couldn't quite get the turnaround to go was Zilkowski. Now pushing it is Petrie. Just to Collier. Reagan Bass is sitting at the top of the key right now. She's Purdue's leading scorer. She has 7. Swanson gives to Bass. Now Lombard. Swanson. 5 on the shot clock. Backdoor cut from Lombard. Mid-range is open, and she knocks it down. Good off-ball movement there from Purdue to cause that open shot.
Yeah, and Purdue a little bit stagnant there at the beginning of that possession. Seemed to be a little bit of figuring things out on the offensive end, but good play by Lombard there to get the bucket.
Around the perimeter once more for Tech. For 3, Zilkowski knocks it down. Zilkowski has struggled early in this game. She was 0 for 4 to that point, but now that's her first 3. And now Swanson from deep. Way too much on that one.
Yeah, Swanson not afraid to pull the trigger. Tried to respond fast there, but to no avail.
Indiana Tech might look to get a full momentum switch here as Covington was doubled but was able to get the ball out. Now an open 3 ball. Got it. Amaris Lowry with the 3. And now Tech all of a sudden within 8. And Katie Geralds calls a timeout.
Yeah, Indiana Tech came out firing here in the second quarter, made a lot of adjustments, started hitting some shots too. We told you that those shots were going to fall eventually. You see a great pass there, cross court to find the open Amaris Lowry. But Coach Gerald's not happy right now. A little bit of slow offensive play and then some lapses in concentration on defense. She needs to talk some things over with her team.
And that's one of those things that last year with Purdue was kind of an issue. It kind of felt like whenever they went out and they kind of got hit hard early in the game, they just really couldn't recover. That's something that they're going to really try and change this year. Gerald's obviously still building the culture. This is one of her first fully recruited classes. And obviously she's brought in some very talented transfers. She's brought in 4 transfers to this point for this year. Obviously we've talked about Ella Collier, who was a 5th-year senior, but 2-time NAIA Player of the Year. Destiny Lombard, coming out of Stephen F. Austin. She was the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in her conference. I mean, there's a lot of talent that is coming not only through the youth, but through the transfer portal too.
In this game and then come out in the second quarter and start playing very, very good, cutting the lead down to 8 against Purdue.
And obviously they've got some talented freshmen like Nakia Bonner, who's on the floor right now from Detroit, Michigan. Swanson pulls up for 3, and that one falls. After rattling around the rim for a while, it finally dropped. Swanson's got 8.
2 of 4 from deep to start the game. She had that bad miss earlier. They go right back to her, and she makes sure she doesn't miss twice.
For 3, Zilkowski, no good. Her struggles continue from beyond the arc as Swanson will bring it up the floor. She's going to drive in on the left side, can't quite get it, and it will go out of play. And it will be Indiana Tech basketball as Rashonda Jones checks back in for Destiny Lombard. (30-19), just over 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. And a miscommunication there between Gully and Zilkowski.
Zilkowski was looking for the backdoor cut. Gully thought it was going to be a fake and just threw it into the Purdue bench.
Covington and Cruz will check out. Lowry and Smith will check in for Indiana Tech. As Rashonda Jones will bring up the floor once again. 2 points, 2 assists to her name thus far. Collier gives to Bass. Now Collier looking for a little room. Lamana McCarthy got it stripped away by Gully. Here comes Indiana Tech on the break. They're going to pull up for 3, and it rims out. But Collier almost got that stolen away. Didn't know that Bonner was right behind her. Jones, McCarthy, good finish. McCarthy, 6'4", too big to defend that one.
Yeah, that will be a very fun, guard-center duo if they can really build some chemistry, because that's Jones's games, being able to dissect the defense and get into the paint. And McCarthy, just a great finisher.
McCarthy, what people will refer to as a true 5, kind of 1 in a million at this point. Seems like everyone's a stretch big now. Just 2 seconds on the shot clock. Bonner's going to just chuck one up. It nearly went in off the glass. Good offensive rebound from Gully. Now for 3 again. Missed it off the back iron. And man, Indiana Tech just cannot get it going as Bonner commits another foul.
Purdue caught a break there because that was a wide open look off the long rebound. I think Purdue just kind of assumed that they were going to get that rebound. They were looking to push and transition, but fortunate that 3 did not go in.
Considering the size difference between the two teams, they have the same amount of offensive rebounds. 4 for Tech, 4 for Purdue at this point. Purdue has more turnovers even. Jones now on the left elbow. Smith trying to give it inside to Puryear. She's doubled. Now she's going to turn and fire. And a good turn jump shot from Puryear over Barton.
And a good little spin move by Puryear. Magnificent footwork in the paint. 1 of 3 to start the game for her.
That pass just kind of squirted out of the hands. And now Purdue pushing. Collier gives to Smith. Now Bass. Mid-range 2. Can't quite knock it down off the front iron. Fighting for the rebound is Puryear. Inside to Rashonda Jones, who finishes it. Really good fight in there between Puryear and Barton. Puryear came out on top on that one.
Yeah, and what a shift from Kendall Puryear right now. You know, not her best when she got in the first quarter, but she is making the most of her opportunity here in the second quarter. A lot of high-effort hustle plays.
Decker trying to get up a shot over Bass. That's not going to happen. Now Jones kicks to Bass. Decker guarding, driving to the left. Foul called on Decker. That's her third, and it'll send Bass to the line for 2 more.
And we've seen Bass be able to score at all 3 levels here. You know, she has a quick first step like you just saw to attack the rim. Seen her use her body to score down low and even hitting a 3 in the first quarter. She is a natural scorer, and you know, she's bringing it to this game today.
Gully and Cruz come in for Smith and Decker. Decker really struggling to get into this game right now. She's only got 2 points and 3 fouls. And we've only got 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. It's a lot of time left. Bass misses the second. And it will be a timeout for Indiana Tech. And so at the break right now, 37-19 Purdue. They're taking a commanding lead over the Indiana Tech Warriors. We'll be right back with more women's basketball action here on Big Ten Plus. 8 minutes without a point in this game. Covington loads up, can't hit. Covington still struggling, hitting that off front iron. She's 0 for 7 from 3. Swanson inside to McCarthy, and a travel on McCarthy.
Seen a couple of those from McCarthy today. Obviously a bit of a learning curve, but you know, that's the time to fix these mistakes in games like these.
Purdue shooting 58% from the field. Indiana Tech a measly 23% from 3. It gets even more discrepancy. 57 from Purdue, 11% from Tech. As Decker throws that off of Bass's leg, and it goes out of bounds for an Indiana Tech throw.
See good resistance there by McCarthy, forcing the pickup dribble, causing a panic play by Indiana Tech.
Covington working on Swanson. Gives way to Smith. There's a pick and roll, but tried to feed it to Decker, but hand in there from Collier. Now wide to Swanson, unloads from 3. Air, way too far, but McCarthy fights for the long rebound. McCarthy, spin, can't finish with the left. Bass fighting for the rebound, and a foul called. And that will be a foul on Lauren Barton on the Warriors. Barton just kind of got swarmed on that rebound and really couldn't recover, couldn't get the ball. Collier, mid-range, no good. It's bounced around. Barton fights McCarthy for that rebound and wins that time. And stolen away by Jones. Jones, Covington to beat. Good Euro step move and the finish with the right hand as that extends the lead to 30.
What a move there by Jones. Just so swift with the ball. You could tell that one was coming from a mile away.
There's a foul on Purdue.
I feel like the other good thing about Purdue today is that we've seen a lot of contributions from a lot of different players. No one's really taken over this game.
So Indiana Tech looking to get anything going. Backdoor cut out by Jones. Here she comes up the floor, fighting to the paint, kicks out. Swanson didn't find a shot. She's going to drive, and a right-handed finish off the glass.
The sophomore connection right there. Jones doing it on both ends, making the extra pass to find Swanson, who's attacking the rim.
Decker for 3, no good. Indiana Tech falls to 2 and 20 from beyond the arc. Something that head coach Jesse Biggs is definitely not pleased with. Swanson, step back, long range 2, nylon. 53-19 with 7:30 to go in the third quarter rather. Cruz pull up mid-range, got it. And there is Indiana Tech's first bucket in a long time.
I believe that was a 26-0 run that Purdue just had that just got ended.
Collier inside McCarthy. Good feed, just the 1-2 passing on that baseline. Indiana Tech can't match it.
Now, Purdue was having their way on that play. Just an easy pick and roll from the corner. Defense gave McCarthy too much space.
Driving there was Cruz and drawing the foul from Rashunda Jones. She just fought her way to the paint there and just forced that shot up. And so Cruz will go to the line for two as Barton and Smith will check out. And her first from the line is good. Yeah, Tech's offense has kind of changed a little bit. It was originally that they were getting open looks and not making them as she misses her second from the line. Now it just seems like the offense is getting just a bit more sloppy, a little too slow, and Purdue's just jumping all over it, causing turnovers left and right. Offensive foul called on Purdue. That one's going to go on McCarthy for an illegal screen. The leading scorer of this game is Sophie Swanson. She's got 13 points, 2 rebounds to her name as well. McCarthy's got 9 points and 8 rebounds. She's chasing a double-double. So is Reagan Bass. She has 8 and 7. Covington can't find it, kicks out. Zolkowski knocks it down. Zolkowski just her second made 3 of 8 attempts. If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Yeah, I got to feel good for Zolkowski, who didn't have a ton of playing time in that game against Huntington. Seeing a lot of minutes here.
Swanson missed, rebounded by McCarthy, misses, gets her own rebound, and again, McCarthy grabs 2 boards and 2 points, and I believe that puts her into a double-double.
Believe stuck at 9 no, you are correct. 11 and 10 for McCarthy. Got to be encouraging to see a freshman have a double-double in her first game.
Long pass was cut out by Zolkowski, but it'll go out for a Purdue throw as Swanson will check out of the game now. 17
of the 35 total rebounds for Purdue coming from Bass and McCarthy. They're really getting it done down low.
Smith trying to finish it with the finger roll, couldn't get it. And it'll be a foul on McCarthy for a push on the loose ball. And she will check out as Puryear comes in. Probably the good play from head coach Katie Gerald. She's got 3 personal fouls. Don't want her getting any more than that at this point. Doesn't feel like there's any reason to either. Decker, good head fake, just couldn't get the separation. Covington, mid-range 2, no good off the front. And now Purdue trying to push with a little bit of pace. Now Jones gives back to Smith. Bass did get leverage, but the pass just was a little bit high, and it'll be a turnover for Purdue. Gully, now Covington. Inside, good ball movement there from Indiana Tech, finding Decker for the wide open layup. Rashunda Jones, now Smith, mid-range jumper, got it. That's money.
Smith with 8 now on the evening to go along with 2 rebounds and 2 assists. 4 of 9 shooting.
And so a timeout called on the floor. And so the lead is 59-27 for Purdue at the time. And obviously these teams have some different expectations. Indiana Tech, like we said, they were favored to win in their conference. As we take a look at the Big Ten preseason poll, obviously Purdue not in the top 5 of the coaches poll. The coaches poll only does top 5 in the preseason. According to On3, sports website, have them about 13th of the 18 teams now in the Big Ten. Feels weird still saying that, but you know, it is what it is. Obviously, with a lot of changes, I can understand why you'd put them that low. And then when you look at Indiana Tech, the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference, 12 first-place votes in the preseason poll. Concordia getting the only other one. They've been so dominant in that conference for so long. I feel like it's kind of hard to pick against them.
Right, really hard to bet against them, especially when they're returning as much talent as they are. I mean, you know, the numbers really speak for themselves. 22-0 in conference play last year. It would seem foolish.
And then Reagan Bass obviously sitting at 8 points and 7 rebounds. Jayla Smith also has 8 points. Destiny Lombard has 7. So just a lot of spreading the ball around, a lot of different shooters today. But again, that's what these games are for. It's an exhibition game. You're just kind of testing things, testing the waters. Katie Gerald said herself, you know, it's not necessarily the lineup that we're going to put out come November 6th against Purdue Fort Wayne, but it doesn't mean that it can't be. And this is where players earn their minutes. These are the games. Still stay focused as Bonner looking for an option. She's guarded by Puryear. That's a mismatch and a half as Puryear's going to fight for that one. Grabbed by Collier. Now up to Jayla Smith. Smith's just going to slow it down. Now Collier's going to run the offense.
Purdue's done a great job of just controlling the tempo the entire game. You know, when they've been pushing the pace, it seems like the Warriors have been getting tired, and that's leading to lapses in concentration.
Inside, Reagan Bass once again into double digits now. 10 points for the Akron transfer.
Yeah, you can see the experience. You see why she's a 5th year there. Just the perfect seal and the perfect entry pass and perfect footwork, leading to an easy bucket.
Blocked by Bass. Zolkowski tried to pull it from 3 again. Bass rejected it. Now inside, Bass. Just couldn't get the left hand. That would have been some 40 seconds for Bass. So they're going to give it forward, but Collier picks it off. Smith driving, finishing over Lowry. 63-27 is the Purdue lead now with just under 3 minutes to go.
And Indiana Tech just seems pretty tired on the floor, trying to make a lot of, you know, passes up the court. Not really comfortable with the ball. Purdue all over them on defense still.
Warriors do have 3 subs in the waiting. Covington working on Bass. Gives it inside to Decker, who gets the layup over Puryear. Good work from Genevieve Decker, who's having a much better third quarter than her first and second. And a foul called on Nakia Bonner, who is just kind of keeping her hand on Collier as she was running down the floor. As a flurry of subs come in and out. Notably for Purdue, Bass and Collier will come out, as well as Zilkowski for Indiana Tech, among others. And Amira Reynolds will come back into the game, as well as Mari Petrie. And a foul called, and that will go against Jacqueline Cruz. Some pushing and shoving in the paint. The officials don't appreciate it. Inbound play goes to Smith. Now inside to Puryear. Working against Gully is a good spin move, and it rolls in. Puryear spun to the right, picked up the foul and one, and has an opportunity to make it 3 at the line.
Puryear's been playing with a lot of energy the entire game, and you know, Max, when you're talking about earning your minutes, this is a player that really comes to mind. She is really showing the coaches that, you know, she wants playing time, and she wants to be, you know, one of those glue guys for this Purdue team.
Puryear, a very feisty player. She gets in there and she does not let go when she does. She's a freshman forward from Missouri, Lee's Summit. She was the number 2 player in Missouri as that one's stolen away. Smith gives out, Lombard, mid-range pull-up, no good. Rebound Petrie, putting it back up. It's a bit long. Fighting for the rebound was Smith and Smith, actually. And it'll be a tie-up that will go the way of Purdue. The 2 Smiths involved there, the jump, Jayla and Corin. And now Jayla. And 3-second violation on Puryear. And it will be Indiana Tech basketball. And so inbounding it now for Indiana Tech. And Decker will now take it up the floor. Covington, now Decker. Tried to give it inside, it was stripped away by Jayla Smith. And now here she comes up the floor, driving to the left side. And that one was blocked away by Decker, but it was a foul, and Smith did end up getting a stray hand to the face there. She gets fouled.
Yeah, it looks like she got hit in the eye there.
After the original foul, she got hit in the face, unfortunately for her. And Lauren Barton will check in now, and I presume that would be for Genevieve Decker, as Jayla Smith is really having some issues with her eye right now. I think she got a nail in on the eye as Decker checks out with 4 fouls, as Barton will come in for her. Jayla Smith just dealing with a small injury here, as she will be subbed out, as Collier will come in and she will shoot the free throws, as Jayla Smith unable to continue for the time being, as Taylor Covington will also check out, and Nakia Bonner will check in as Collier hits the first of what would have been Jayla Smith's.
Collier only attempting 1 shot in this game. 4 for 4 on free throws after those 2 makes, but
Collier getting it done in other aspects. 5 assists and 2 boards to this point. And so coming up is Gully. And now Cruz. Now for 3, Barton got it from way downtown. Lauren Barton, the center, dropping it in for 3. Just her second collegiate start as a graduate student. She's from DeWitt, Michigan. She played in 26 games last year, only averaged 7 minutes a game though. It's Collier driving, gives back to Lombard. 3, no good, as Puryear was trying to fight for the ball and swim move was illegal.
you know, and Indiana Tech and Purdue have the same amount of three-pointers made. It's just the number of attempted that's the big difference. Indiana Tech, 17% versus Purdue's 40%. A much more efficient night from Purdue as they've looked to attack in transition and in the paint much more often.
And so Barton heads to the line as they are in the bonus. She makes her first. And she'll miss the second long. Puryear pulls down the rebound. And now bringing up the floor, Amaya Reynolds. Reynolds hasn't had a loud day per se. 0 points, 1 rebound, 0 assists. But Reynolds working on Bonner. And a foul called. And foul will be called on Gabby Ritchie, who's playing in her first game at Indiana Tech of her career. A sophomore, did not play in any games last season, did not play against Huntington last week. As Puryear will check out and Rashunda Jones will check back in.
Now Reynolds at the line looking for her first career points. And she knocks it down. Hasn't got a ton of playing time here today, only attempted one shot. But definitely a bright future ahead of her.
It's the second, and the first two collegiate points for Amaya Reynolds are on the board as Bonner will look to take it up with 7 seconds left. Working on Lombard, and that'll be a carry. And she ended up making the shot after the play was called dead. That might be even more frustrating.
That's how it always happens, doesn't it?
And so Purdue now has the chance for a last chance shot. Up 70-33 with 3.9 left. Rashunda Jones charging up the sideline, gonna charge in for two. Gets the lay-in to go just before the buzzer. And so Rashunda Jones will make it 72 for Purdue. And so at the end of three, 72-33, Purdue leads by 39 points. And it has just been a walloping at Mackey Arena today.
And Rashunda Jones with a bucket at the end, and she's been the player that I've been most impressed with here. 5 for 5 on the field goals. But if we take a look at Katie Gerald's, their fourth season with the Boilermakers. Last season, the deepest postseason run that they've had since 2009, and absolutely. And what's very funny to me is Katie Gerald's is pretty familiar against this Indiana Tech team. When she was a head coach at Marian University, went 5-1 in 6 games against the Warriors. So definitely not the first time that these two coaches have squared off on the sidelines against each other.
Katie Gerald's in her media session yesterday said that she really enjoys Jessie Biggs. She thinks she's one of the better coaches in all of college basketball. And Katie Gerald's, she knows a thing or two about NAIA action. She spent 8 seasons as the head coach at Marian University, won back-to-back NAIA championships, 228 wins, 50 losses for the best win percentage in Marian history. And not to mention, she was inducted into the Purdue Athletics Hall of Fame earlier this month. And she signed a contract extension through the 28-29 season. So Katie Gerald's continues to make a name for herself. She is an unbelievable coach, unbelievable person, and has done so much for this Purdue program, as has Jessie Biggs for Indiana Tech. As Swanson heaves that from 3, can't quite get it. And she goes down, and McCarthy's still fighting for a rebound.
Yeah, and she can't really walk on it. That's not good.
Yeah, I think Swanson pretty banged up. I couldn't tell what happened. She cannot walk on it. Tried to just put pressure on it, and she just kind of crumbled. And that is a bad sign for Sophie Swanson. She had knee surgery not even 2 years ago. She was playing with the knee brace last season. Elected to not take a injury redshirt season. And that is really not good, holding her knee. And that is not something that you want to see, especially from someone that's already had knee surgery.
Right, and someone who's had such a good game as well, and something like an exhibition game, and Purdue's already dealing with some injury trouble between, nursing Amaya Reynolds back to health and, losing Jordan Poole to injury as well. Losing Swanson would be a detrimental blow, and that one's particularly scary because there was no one around her when she shot the ball. It was purely how she landed.
40-point lead, that's just a frustrator.
Yeah, 100%. Wishing her nothing but the best.
And we are back to play here as Indiana Tech will take it up the floor. Genevieve Decker. She had a rough first half, but it's kind of turned it around. Zolkowski still shooting from 3, no good. As Petrie will bring the ball at the floor now. Now Reynolds. One of the few sister tandems in Purdue history. Her sister, Mila, is also on the roster. She's injured, unfortunately. Could not participate in this game as Smith pulls up and the 3-ball drops for Jayla Smith.
How about Smith with 13 points off the bench? Only averaged 3.8 last year. If she can be used as a spark plug for this Boilermakers team, that would be huge.
And a foul is called, as that was trying to go to the inside, and it will be a foul on Smith. There's the stats for Jayla Smith, 13 points. Hit 1 of her 2 from 3. Indiana Tech inbounding from the baseline now. Zolkowski blocked by Reynolds, and it'll be Indiana Tech basketball. Zolkowski has now shot 10 threes, made 2. 12 total shots with only 2 makes, both of those from 3. As they get the ball into Barton, trying to back down McCarthy. Great spin move, and finishing with the left hand. That was a crafty move from the graduate student on the freshman.
Yeah, that's experience at its finest right there. It's a little bit of an up and under to get McCarthy out of position.
Petrie inside now, Puryear. Petrie, 3-ball, no good. Rebounded by Puryear. Turnaround jumper, got it. Puryear fighting tooth and nail for every rebound and getting those turnaround jump shots to fall.
Puryear seems to like those like little 6-footers, which is kind of fading away. Adding that to her bag would be huge offensively.
And a foul is called, and that will bring in a slew of subs for Purdue. Everyone except Petrie will leave the floor.
What makes the Big Ten so?
So Bass, Collier, Lombard, and Jones come on the floor as a foul is called. And Indiana Tech will go to the line for 2. It'll be Taylor Covington, who has also had her struggles this game. 2 for 11 from the field, 0 for 7 from 3, which is obviously not where she wants to be. She was a 32% shooter from beyond the arc last season, and she hits her first from the line. Like we said earlier, she's an all-conference first-team player 2 years in a row. As she hits her second free throw, as Cruz is going to check in, and so is Corin Smith for Covington and Lowry. But Covington, a 5'7" junior from Dublin, Ohio, averaged just under 11 points a game with 4 assists and 3 rebounds last year. She was really distributing the ball well and being kind of that secondary threat to Erica Foy, who is now since graduated, as that was a 3-ball from Petrie, who landed on the foot of Cruz, and so it will be a foul, and she will get 3 shots from the line. As Cruz obstructed her landing area, can't do that.
Petrie looking to be the 10th Boilermaker to score today. I mean that everybody who's played will have scored.
Don't tell me you cursed her. Petrie does have 5 rebounds to her name and 2 blocks. Has been involved a lot of other places, and she does get her point. And so now every Boilermaker who has been in the game has scored, and every Boilermaker who was actually listed on the team sheet today has scored as she hits her second. And so 2 of 3 from the line, not a bad visit. So Decker guarded by Jones, 2 versus 2. Petrie fighting for the defense, and she gets the steal off of Smith. Petrie can't lay it in, but a foul on Corin Smith, and she'll head back to the line for 2 more.
Purdue still pushing the pace here. Even though they're up at 44, you can just tell the culture of this team, just constantly trying to make the hustle plays, make the smart plays. Just a lot of effort being shown on the court here today.
And that's the kind of thing that Purdue, I mean, despite this being an exhibition game and everything, you know, that's one of these things that you don't want to take your foot off the pedal because you never really know what happens. And theoretically, in the closer games, you can't take your foot off the pedal. You need to try and win as Petrie knocks down her first from the line. And the second is good. 4 for 5 from Petrie in this quarter from the line. Just over 7 minutes left. Indiana Tech down by a lot. I'm not very good at math, so I can't do that in my head. Cruz now on the perimeter. Now Gully. Back to Cruz. Looking for any off-ball movement, just not really happening as she switches on to Bass, had to pick up the dribble. Now Bonner working on Lombard. Lombard doing a much better job defending, forces a bad shot, and a shot clock violation. Great defense from Purdue.
Yeah, just nowhere to go for the guards of Indiana Tech on that possession. Just forcing up tough shots. That's all you can really ask for as a defensive unit.
Petrie trying to give inside to Bass, who was trying to get leverage and was fouled by Gully. And so it will be a Purdue throw. So Purdue, beyond looking at this game, I mean, last season in the Big Ten they were 5-13 as Jones will pull up and hit the shot. It was a long two, foot on the line. Now make it 85-37 Boilermakers. But like I was saying, Purdue 5-13 in the Big Ten last year, was 10-7 at home. They ended up losing in the grade 8 of the WNIT, as that's a tough finish from Bonner. But Purdue last year with a losing record. They're going to look to turn that around this year. Obviously, it's always going to be hard to predict what's going to happen when you lose all of your starters, especially a player like Janae Terry, who ended up graduating, who's been the heartbeat of this Purdue team. The only collegiate basketball player, men's or women's, to have 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 700 assists, which is an incredible statistic.
Yeah, she will be missed, but what we've seen here tonight is a lot of depth on this Purdue team. And all it really takes is just one or two players to elevate above expectations, and you have a really solid team.
Lombard fought to keep that one in, but stepped out of bounds as she was dribbling. And so Indiana Tech basketball. 3 fouls each on both teams, but the discrepancy as Gully drives, foul and one. Good finish from Gully through the contact, and that will be a foul on Petrie. And she'll go to the stripe to complete the three-point play.
Yeah, Gully, a confident drive there. Purdue's shown a lot of resistance in the paint, but not that time. Just a strong finish through.
Misses the free throw, and now Amaya Reynolds will bring the ball up the floor. Bass for three. Got it. Nothing but nylon for Reagan Bass as she continues to make it rain today. But the discrepancy in the stats is daunting in the rebounds. 46 to Purdue, 18 to Indiana State.
And that's kind of what we thought about coming into this game, was Purdue has very talented bigs between McCarthy, Bass, Furrier off the bench, and they're really maximizing their opportunities today. So we see Swanson on the sideline, able to walk with no problem, no ice on that right knee. Definitely a great sign for any Purdue fan out there.
Yeah, it could have just been a cramp or something, but there's a timeout on the floor, and so a quick powwow for both teams before the final 5 minutes of this one. 88 to 41. 41. Not much to be said there.
Definitely a tough day for the Warriors, but we mentioned it as a learning experience. Getting, playing, 12 players in this game isn't crazy for Indiana Tech. Just getting people experience, playing against better competition is how you get better. And I'm sure Indiana Tech will learn from this.
Smith put up a floater, couldn't get it, fought back for the rebound, couldn't get the other one. So Indiana Tech will push up. If there is one thing that Indiana Tech might take from today, it's that they have caused 11 turnovers on a pretty good team. A Division I Big Ten team, obviously. That is certainly a good thing. They were 12th worst in NAIA in causing turnovers. So definitely a step in the right direction as far as the defense is concerned.
All right, this is a game where Indiana Tech can learn a lot about, what kind of team they're going to be. Mentioned losing their most productive player this season, how they're going to fill that role, and what kind of a team they're going to be going forward.
Smith going to work on the block and dropping it in, and now Purdue is an even 90, and she has 15 of them. Knocked away, but Zilkowski and a big block from Puryear. Lombard fights to keep it alive. Lombard chasing up the floor. Couldn't quite finish it. Offensive rebound, Petrie. Couldn't get that one to go. Outside, Smith for three. No good. Bounced off the two rims and out. And now up the floor quickly. Gully fouled hard by Reynolds. And Gully will go to the line for two.
And a good little play there. You see off. The freshman centers have been playing unbelievable today here between McCarthy and Furrier. You see Furrier playing without fouling, just going straight up, straight for the ball and sending that one into the bench. A lot of discipline there from the freshman. She seems to be improving over the course of the game even.
So McCarthy comes in for Jayla Smith. So Jaden Gully at the line, 5'9" freshman from Ashland, Kentucky. Played 21 minutes versus Huntington. Again, another one of those talented players that Jesse Biggs has brought in to just keep pushing and pushing this program to the heights that they have reached in the past. As Amaya Reynolds will bring it up the floor now. This is a tall team on the floor for Purdue. Just one player, that being Destiny Lombard, under 6 feet tall. And she's a defensive player of the year. Ritchie can't quite get that one to fall. And Reynolds will run the offense. I think Gerald's might just be trying out a new style of team. Kind of a big team here. Lombard looking for Puryear. Gets to the middle and knocks down the fader. That's her shot today, and she's been making all of those.
Yeah, 5 for 7. All her points coming from the paint or the free throw line. That's all you really need. She's been creating space for herself. And she's looked very promising here in this opening exhibition game.
Bonner working on Lombard, trying to drive. Had to pick up the dribble. 4 seconds left in the shot clock. Three from Zilkowski. Gets it in off the glass. A little help from the window, and she knocks down the three in what was kind of a desperation heave for Indiana Tech.
All of Zilkowski's points coming from beyond the arc today. Now 3 of 14.
Foul and one. As McCarthy will go to the line to complete the three-point play.
That's where McCarthy's looked the best here today, is in the pick and roll. Creating a lot of space for her and dives to the for herself and dives to the basket. Getting to the free throw stripe. Definitely a lot to build off of from today's game.
McCarthy couldn't hit it, but a rebound from Lombard, and Purdue will recycle. Lombard, three ball. Got it. 97 for Purdue, 45 for Indiana Tech. As they continue to just rain it down. Bonner, good drive and a good finish with the right hand. They've got a talented and scrappy player in Nakia Bonner over in Fort Wayne. And McCarthy finishes in the paint. Now Gabby Ritchie. Ritchie for three. Got the three. Gabby Ritchie knocks it down for Tech. In her first game, she's got some points. Petrie for two. Got it. 101 for Purdue. As Petrie knocked down the long two. Under a minute to go now from Mackey Arena. Looking for Ritchie, chucking it up again. No good, long. As Lombard came down with the rebound. And now Reynolds.
You know, apart from the rebounding, the most impressive stat to me for Purdue is the efficiency that they've maintained throughout the entire game. 53.4% from the field and 41.2% from three. Can't ask for much more than that when it comes to offensive efficiency.
6 on the shot clock. Petrie pulls, can't hit, off front iron. Bonner will bring it up the floor. There is no more shot clock. Ritchie wanted to pull it, didn't get it. Travel called on Indiana Tech. That was on Camille Keys, getting her first action. 1.6 seconds left in the game. Purdue, all they have to do is inbound it, and that will do it. This exhibition game ends in a fashion many may have expected, but